Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy Aquarius. We're going to work our way through the zodiac this week, and I'm going to be doing it with a deck that I have not picked up in a little while. We're going to be doing it with the Dark Mirror deck, and this is an interesting. I've never used this deck for the reading that I'm doing. I've done this spread before. It's been a while since I've actually done this spread also, so it's going to be an interesting week. This is the kind of deck and spread that really looks at, I would describe as our more raw aspects of ourselves, which is going to be interesting. I'm seeing rawness here in your reading, Aquarius. I've pulled some cards out to get started because it's a pretty intricate deck, so I do like to take some time with the cards. And, you know, it's so interesting. This is your underlying card. To just give you an idea here, this is your underlying card. So this is something from your past here. I won't cry for you. Like that. I like her. It's like, I won't cry for you. But she is crying, and she's crying blood. There's something. I want to say that there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger. I possibly regret. The regret could be centered around either an opportunity that you feel like you missed out on, or it could be about, you know, maybe time and effort that you put into something or someone and having regret about that too. But like, you've worked through a lot of that. So I want to say, like, you have worked through a lot of that. And what's also interesting though is because in the future there's a whole thing about body positivity for you. So I don't know, it like a big part of your energy in the future, because I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking at kind of like the past, and I'm looking into the future. The future, there's a huge aspect of you getting through some type of body positivity. Okay, why do I feel like my chair is, what goes on with my chair? Oh, it's not here, sorry. I'm bringing it up a bit. All right. Okay, what have you been working on? I want to say, what have you, this is the card here, what you've been working on, Aquarius. You've been working on the anger and chains card. This is the area of your life where you feel like there's things that you don't have control over. It could be where you work. You may not want to work there, but you need to work there because it pays your bills, or, you know, yada, yada, whatever. It could be, in a way, like, it could be like some sort of emotional connection that you have to someone as well. I won't cry for you. It could be an emotional connection that you have for someone, and you're trying to break that as well. That's what you've been working on, okay? That's what you are working on right now. But when I say are, because it's not like you just started it. It's something that you're in progress. You're in process of doing, is working on this anger and change. It's areas of your life where you feel limited, or you feel like you just don't have control. And I want to say there's something about your freedom here. There's something about your freedom. But this is such a complicated card, because this card talks about, you know, like, if we're breaking the chains and freeing ourselves, there's a lot of things that happen because of that, like consequences to others around us, consequences to our path. What is that going to be moving forward? That, right? Like, an example of that is, let's say you are, like, you just physically chained to something, and you and a group of other people are, because it's also interesting because it's got this Aquarian vibe. It talks about, like, of the self and of the group as well, like being considered in this energy. That's what you've been working on here. So where does the group benefit you? Where does the group not benefit you? Where do the actions that you take for self harm the group? Where do the actions of the group that they take harm you? Like, it's a complicated energy, but it also kind of respects the fact that we all are to some degree interconnected, right? It's like you and others are all chained up here, and you just decide, that's it. I'm breaking these chains. I'm getting out of here. So in the middle of the night, you're doing whatever you're doing to get the chains, and you break the chains and you flee. And it's like nobody else is coming with you. Well, okay, I got to go, guys. But it's kind of like, because you've done something here to free yourself, it does have an effect on the others. So now the others end up with thicker chains on them. When whatever energy was chaining you and the others, you've escaped it. But now the others have thicker chains. Maybe the energy that keeps the others down and contained, you know what, don't give them as much food now, because it's obvious they're getting too much food to free themselves. You know, like it's a weird, complicated energy. That's what you've been working on here. It's, let me just, actually, the little part right at the end of this, anger and chains. When you need to break free, you need to shake and shout, and more things will be broken more things will be broken than just what you want to hurt. They are like a bundle. You can target, but you cannot choose. Break many to break one. Save one to save many. No, there's no simple explanations with these cards in the book. These are the kind of cards that are there to really make you think about things. Okay, so that's what you've been working on. I do feel like it has to do with you and other things around you and the consequences of the actions that you could or could not take. Now, some of you might even be making an active choice here not to free yourself from something because you are trying to protect someone else. You know, it could be something like that also. You've been working on that. It's not easy. What have you been healing as the colorless angel? I want to say that this has got to have something to do with this past here. I won't cry for you. Because the colorless angel is kind of like an angel that is choosing to not feel, as opposed to feeling pain, because you can't have all the other feelings and not have pain. It just doesn't work that way, right? There's balance in everything. There can be love and joy, but there can be hate and pain as well. So what have you been healing? I want to say, I feel like you've been coming to terms with some type of deep emotion here, big time. Like you've been working on healing that. You may have also been working on trying to block something out and not feel it. So you might be addressing it emotionally also, because it's what you've been healing currently. This gilded regret, I feel like that's okay. This is the area that is starting to blossom for you. So that's what I said, where there, I feel like there is some type of regret also in the energy that you're working through currently. And again, because I haven't pulled any tarot out on this, I may or may not. These cards really do talk quite a bit. Because the anger and the chains are what you've been working on, and the thing that is starting to blossom is some type of gilded regret. This is almost like wearing regret like a crown, right? Like, it's almost like you can be the king or queen of regret. And what is that regret, right? Is it an amount of years or time that you spent in a job where you felt worthless? Is it a number of years or time that you spent in a relationship where perhaps you felt worthless? And I'm saying that because there's something that comes into the future here that has a lot to do with your sense of worth, like a lot. So I feel like even though it's not specifically being spoken about in the 3 cards that represent you right now, it's an underlying issue. I really do feel like it's an underlying issue here. And yeah, I don't know. It's also interesting because this gilded regret, as she's sitting on the table, she is looking right into the future cards. And the future, as I said, is something so fascinating here. It's about something to do with your self-worth and image. Okay, so let's hop into the future. In the future for you, what will you finish working on? Queen of my world. So if you're guy, king, king of your world, queen of your world is what you will finish working on. So I find this very fascinating that you have that card, because the anger and chains, it talks about the things around us in particular that we can't change, that hold us back or take away some degree of our freedom, right? And in a lot of cases, we say yes to some of those constraints without necessarily realizing what the long-term consequences of that are or could be. Now, something like, okay, something really simple here, but it is a condition that you agree upon. Like if you live somewhere and you decide, okay, I want to have electricity because I want to do this, that, and the other. Well, okay, well now you have an electric bill every month that you need to pay, right? And you are, to some degree, you could become, well, most of us probably do. Well, we are right now all participating in electrical usage. We all are. Whether you're on a wireless device, it was charged in some way, right? So you now become maybe reliant on all those electrical things in your life. But, you know, the thing that you hate, I got to pay this electric bill every month. Now I got to do this. I got to, right? There's all these little things that we accept into our life that are to some degree man-made. Okay? Because the queen of my world is somebody who is in complete control. But it's not a control in terms of ego is standing on top of the truth of who you are and not letting that come to the surface just so you can survive something. It's honestly like the queen of your world is internally here. Like, even if your external environment is not ideal or is not how you would like it to be, it doesn't faze you. Like you are really in that space where I want to say you have some type of spiritual autonomy, spiritual sovereignty with this card. Like, isn't that an interesting card to have for the future? Actually, all three of the cards you have in the future. So that's what you will finish working on. You will be king or queen of your world. So regardless of what your exterior world is and how it's showing up, internally, you are who you want to be. I stopped myself to say like calm as a cookie or cool as a cucumber. Can you be, is a cookie pretty calm? I guess. Cucumbers are cool. Yeah, cool as a cucumber. It depends. It depends on what you want to feel, what feels right, but that doesn't also, like, maybe you will feel angry at times, but it's not like it's an energy that triggers you to feel that. It's almost like a conscious choice to feel angry. Now, not that is really discussed in the Queen of My World. I think it's the anger, well, yeah, the anger in chains. What have you been working on? The anger in chains. So it could be like your anger because, actually, that's an interesting card. I read you the last little part, but let's read the first part too of this. It's kind of fascinating. Anger is not the road to clarity. It's not a controlled effort or a cold dish. It is raw, primal, explosive. It is the loss of reason, the loss of restraint. A bomb burning bright in black color. A wax seal carefully crafted to be immediately broken. But anger is also freedom. How can you break a single thread woven with a million others? How can you unfetter yourself from a bad situation, letting all the rest, leaving? I think it's, yeah, there's some errors in this. I believe the deck was not created, like the creator is, English is not their first language. So there are times where it's just been, translated. So forgive me, because I'm going to try to put in there what I think they were trying to say. How can you unfetter yourself from a bad situation, leaving all the rest unchanged? I guess you could be letting all the rest unchanged. It doesn't work like that. When you need to break free, you need to shake and shout. And more things will be broken than just what you want to hurt. That's the part here, right? They're like a bundle. You can target, but you cannot choose. Break many to break one. Save one to save many. It's a complicated situation. So I feel like, right, because if I say anger is an emotion, just as like joy and happiness and fear and sadness are as well. So you can't deny it. It's there. And there are times where it is important because it can cause people to free themselves from things, right? I'm just so angry at this point. That's it. They're finally free, and maybe they've just put that down. But you've been working on that. So I want to say maybe as this coming into your future that you're recognizing where it is fair enough. It's fair enough to be angry, and it's also fair enough to maybe acknowledge and exercise that energy in a way that is productive for you, not to just keep it inside. Unless you come to a whole new ability here to keep everything inside. I don't know. like to be able to transform and alchemize all of your emotions and feelings. It's a strong card. That's something you'll be finished working on. What will be healed? So check this out. What will be healed for you in the future is the temple of your body. And this card here talks directly about the shame that we have of our own body, the shame that we can have in terms of our own desires and our own desires, our own sexual impulses, like everything that kind of makes us human here is the part that is going to be healed for you. Whether there's shame in actual, like, your body image, or if there's shame about what your body draws towards you, right? That could be maybe other people who would be sexually attracted to you, because I don't want to just say people of the opposite sex, because it could be any, right? It could be people of the same sex too. That there could be something about your body that draws them in, and maybe you feel shame about that. You're like, well, that's not really who I am. I'm not just this sexual being. And then others of you, maybe it could be like, maybe you have a body type that people think, oh, well, you don't work out very much, or you don't do this, or you don't eat very healthy. And you might feel judged because of your body, right? Like there's different ways that happens for all of us. That is what will be healed for you in the future. You will feel comfortable. Like this is really about talking about like your temple, the strength in your own temple here. With these two cards, right? As starting. Hi, Larry. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I love you. Oh, Larry. Boo, 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 boo. So, yeah. So don't stop the channeling, Larry. I love you. Yes, I do. You were in the catnip, weren't you? You were. So, because your body truly becomes your temple with Queen of My World, too. You will finish working on that. You're just going to be like as confident as shit here. I mean, really, that's where this is going. You're really going to be confident as shit. Okay, so then that takes us to what will be ready to harvest, which is crazy. You got naked before the stars. This card also talks about like our body and our body image. Actually, let's go into that because, and that's hard. So you are ready to live. To harvest something is to be ready to live in that, right? Is to be ready to receive all of the benefits of the work that you've done in a particular area, right? And I mean, there's a huge thing going on here for you about self-image, body positivity, and that, and Naked Before the Stars. Oh, look at this. Accepting our own beauty in size, color, age, and fat. That's what will be ready to harvest. You will truly accept yourself, Aquarius. A beautiful, curvy woman wears lacy lingerie. One is a black corset, and she kneels in her full sensuality under the lights of a million artificial stars. There is no perfection that is worth enough. There is imperfection, as proud as the heavens. And this talks about, what do we see when we look in the mirror? Do we see something we like, or something we dislike, something we care, or something we are a slave to? What do we compare ourselves to? To the eyes of the people loving us? I wonder what feelings the words curvy, cute, chubby, fat, rounded, arousing within us, if a smile or distaste or recognition. The quest for beauty is not an empty quest. Even if beauty is not as deep as the ocean, still, when we shine, our world becomes brighter, but we will always feel naked in front of the stars. We should just learn not to blush and stand proudly. You see? I mean, I feel like it must be something that you've been working on much more long-term than all of the other energies that, like, I'm seeing you in right now. And I'm wondering, maybe there's something that you've been through. Like maybe there's someone here in your family or in a relationship that has like hurt you to some extent. And that hurt has led to some degree, some amount of unaccepting who you are. like not accepting yourself for who you are. And you are getting past any regrets that you've had in perhaps this relationship or other relationships or situations that you have found yourself in. You are healing. I feel like you're healing some pain here. I feel like you're healing pain through regret, through rejection, through confinement. When I say confinement and a lack of freedom, right? Or how your power is, like, almost in a whole, like how your power has been taken away from you, right? And like, as we look into the future, you totally reclaim your power. And if your body truly is your temple, you are the queen of your kingdom. You are the king of your kingdom in the future. I'm not gonna pull tarot. I don't want to dilute it. I feel like that's what the tarot is gonna do. I'm feeling that from these cards. Okay, so that's what I have. That's what, I'm gonna go do the extended Aquarius. So in the extended, I'm kind of looking at the energies in between where you are now and where you're going to be in the future. And in that in-between energy, I'm going to ask what personal challenges, personal distractions, and areas that you need to focus on. So what would be a personal challenge for you in this in-between energy from where you are right now, right? With the anger and change, the colorless angel, the gilded regret. What is a personal challenge for you now, or will be? What is a distraction that you need to be aware of, and an area of your life to focus on, or an area of you to focus on, an area of focus as you move into this future energy? Yeah. Thanks everybody. I just kind of like out of the flow a little bit because I took a week off. But yeah, if you want to go to the extended, there are 2 options below. You can join the membership. If you decide to do that, please make sure you join the 2nd tier, all extended videos, or you can do one-time purchase below that link. Thank you so much, everybody. Until next time, Aquarius, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.